Hello Horror Nights and family, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Crystal, and on this channel I talk about everything horror. I also have a podcast where I talk a little bit more in depth about horror, and if you've noticed, I have been uploading audio and video for my podcast. I'm actually going to be working on one right after I finish up this video. And also, I'm going to urge you guys right now, if you're not following me on Instagram or Twitter, I would really do it now. I have been working all morning on brand new content for my Instagram, and I am so excited for you guys to see it. And by the time this video comes out, you will have seen a couple, at least one photo, because I've uploaded it. So make sure you guys are following me on my socials, and don't forget to subscribe here because I upload new videos every single Wednesday. So before we get into today's video, I kind of wanted to take a second, talk to you guys about some things. Just a couple seconds, won't take long, I promise. As you guys know, last week I did take a little bit of a break. I wasn't really active on Instagram, Twitter, or of course I didn't upload a new podcast or a new YouTube video. I get into these kind of, I don't want to call them ruts, but I get into kind of a routine, and if something works, I just keep doing it, and I don't really challenge myself to do anything different. And lately, I haven't been super proud of the content that I've been putting on like my Instagram. So I decided to kind of take a week off, do a bunch of research, and really figure out what it is that I wanted to proceed with. And all week I've been just saving pictures and looking at different things and looking at different Instagrams and different kinds of photo shoots, and I was just so inspired, and I am so excited for you guys to see what I have planned. And as you guys also may know, or you may not know, I'm not really sure depending on how long you've been watching my videos or listening to my podcast, but I am the sole proprietor, owner, brander of Horror Nights Inn. And basically what that means is that I don't have a co-host, I don't have anyone helping me, I do it all by myself, which is what I choose to do. I like to be in control of the things that I put out and the things that I do, and if I have an idea at 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm gonna wanna do it. And I wouldn't want to put a burden on somebody else to, you know, adhere to my schedule, because you guys know that I work a little bit too much, but that's okay. So anyway, I can sort of be a little bit overwhelmed at times and need a little bit of a break and sort of a refresher. So that's why I feel as if I take a little bit more time to, you know, I take a break, things like that. And I know that you guys are like, oh, that's fine, take a break. You have so much content I could watch, which is great. I'm hoping that a lot of you think that way. Hopefully you do. But yeah, as you guys know, my YouTube content is completely different from my podcast content. My Instagram is literal huge brand by itself. Twitter is a huge brand by itself. You know, if you're watching this video and you create, and you, whether it be a podcast, a YouTube channel, an Instagram, a Twitter, whatever it is, a Tumblr, you know how much time that it takes to do those things. And that is why I really make sure that if I'm feeling burnt out and feeling overwhelmed, I do take a break, because I let myself sort of settle, let my brain not really think about what I want to do for next week. And I really feel it's when I start to have my best ideas. So yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for being here. Like I said, make sure you guys subscribe because I upload new videos every single Wednesday. And of course, before we get into today's video about American Horror Story, I gotta show you guys my new shirt. This is a Goosebumps shirt. As you guys know who this is, this creepy ass dude from the book. You guys know what I'm talking about. So yeah, once again, I got this t-shirt from Kohl's. A lot of you guys are still asking me, which is totally fine. I'm not complaining at all. But yeah, I get a lot of my horror shirts from Amazon and Kohl's.com. So yeah. All right, guys, let's get into the video. So if you guys have been subscribed to my channel for a little while now, you know that last year I did episode reactions for American Horror Story 1984, and I wasn't the biggest fan of the season overall. And not that the cast didn't do a great job, because there were definitely moments throughout the season that I did really like. And I was really looking forward to season 10 because it's such a achievement to be able to get to 10 seasons of a show. And to me, honestly, it doesn't even feel like it's been 10 seasons of American Horror Story, because I've just been so ingrained in it for so long that I'm like, oh my god, it's at season 10 already? Like, what? But of course, with the pandemic and everything else going on in the world, everything has pretty much come to a halt, and it's been delayed. So we have to wait a little bit longer to see what Ryan Murphy has in store for us, but of course he's given us a couple sneak peeks here and there. And of course I will absolutely do episode reactions for season 10 when we are graced with it. And also a little bit of a disclaimer, not that I really need to say this, but I do episode reactions for each episode as they air, so sometimes I can be wrong, sometimes I can backtrack, sometimes what I think is completely wrong, sometimes what I predict is completely right. And I have gotten comments on my videos saying like I shouldn't judge the season before I watch the whole thing, and I try to tell everybody like I do episode reactions, and like I said, I go back and I backtrack on things that I might have said or things that I might have been interpreted wrong. So first I kind of want to talk about the cast. So Sarah Paulson is actually my favorite character actress from every single season, of course except for last season when she wasn't there. And I know that she has a lot of memes and some people find her annoying, but I really do like her. I mean, she was a dope ass cigarette smoking medium in Murder House. And then she was a competitive and extremely smart journalist in Asylum. She was a powerful witch in Coven. She was also the two-headed freak in Freak Show, and then she was such a good ghost in Hotel. That was maybe one of my favorite characters that she's played in American Horror Story. And of course she was a haunting survivor in Roanoke, which I knew a lot of people didn't really like that season, but I kind of enjoyed it. And of course she was a Bleeding Heart Liberal in Cult, which I think a lot of people didn't like that one either, but I really liked that season. And of course she was a survivor in Apocalypse. And now she is coming back for season 10. She actually asked Ryan Murphy if she could come back, and of course he agreed to have her back. And unfortunately we don't really have any hints on what kind of character she's playing, but she does want to work closely with Evan Peters again, which of course I'm always on board for because Evan Peters is probably my second favorite. So in February, Murphy announced the returning cast members for season 10, which includes Kathy Bates, Leslie Grossman, Billy Lord, Adina Porter, Lily Robb, Angela Ross, and Finn Witwerk. So we didn't have Bates or Porter actually in season 9, so I am once again excited to see them for the new season. And this will actually be the first time that Rob has done, sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, that he's done anything, I believe, since Roanoke. And also, very weird, but I'm kind of into it, a new face will be joining the cast, and it's Macaulay Culkin. Like, what? So the first clue that we got about season 10 was actually back in February, which was of course before the pandemic took over the entire country. And it's the cast announcement with the beach on a background. It looks like kind of like a stormy beach. Obviously I'm gonna put references here for you so you know what I'm talking about, or you need a little bit of a reminder. And while the cast names are appearing, Orville Peck's song Dead of Night is playing. So if you take the lyrics of the song and you break it down, basically the lyrics are about two outlaws wreaking havoc on the West Coast, them being in love, and then it ending tragically. So are we gonna see like two principal characters who rob and kill people? Is it something like a hardened Romeo and Juliet, which I would totally be into? And then in March, we got our first promo picture. So it's that same stormy dark gray beach background, but now there's two hands that are sort of clawing up to the surface, with a caption that simply said, "Things are being washed up on shore." So we're gonna get some kind of like killer ocean creatures, maybe get some like mermaids, maybe some like mermaid zombies. Then in April, Ryan Murphy shared a picture of the Rubber Man with the caption simply saying, "Coming soon." Of course, we remember the Rubber Man from the first one, or from the first season of Murder House, and then of course, we also saw him in Apocalypse. And then in May, he shared another post of a beach and it simply said, Clue. So another really cool thing that I like how American Horror Story kind of intertwines all of their seasons is that Ryan Murphy will sometimes put clues about an upcoming season and a previous season. What I mean by that is he gave us a clue in season 9, episode 8 about season 10. So while the specifics of this clue we're not really sure about, a lot of fans have been thinking it has something to do with the film Paris, Texas, while others think that the season will be pretty much about cryptids. So, according to IMDb, Paris, France is a film about Travis Henderson. He's an aimless drifter that has been missing for 4 years. He wanders out to the desert to kind of reconnect with himself, with society, his life, and his family, which then kind of reminds me of the song that was played during the cast announcement. Something about aimless wanderers in the desert and then coming back to society, but of course with a horror twist because duh. There is also this idea that Ryan Murphy was inspired by the mysterious case titled The Lady of the Dunes. So basically what happened was an unidentified woman's body was discovered on July 26, 1974 in the Race Point Dunes in Provincetown, Massachusetts. So they actually exhumed her body in 1980, 2000, and 2013 to try and figure out what exactly happened to her, who killed her, but unfortunately these efforts were unsuccessful. They actually featured this case in 2006 on the show Haunted Evidence. So could this be something that Ryan Murphy is gonna use because of the whole lore and the urban legend behind all of it? But with the pandemic still rocking the country, Murphy has also commented that he may need to change the entire theme of season 10 because of location and weather and things like that. So I know a lot of American Horror Story fans have wanted like an alien invasion kind of season, but for me personally, I'm not really the biggest fan of aliens. No offense if you are, I'm just not a fan of it. So I think a season dedicated to like an eerie beach, quiet little town, or like that whole like Romeo and Juliet thing, or something about nomads would be really, really cool. And like maybe mermaids. Also, I didn't know this, but when doing my research, I found out that American Horror Story actually has a little spin-off series coming, and each one will be a different spooky episode on its own. And of course, you guys know I will be covering that as well. So I think it's gonna be it for today's video, a little short and sweet, all about American Horror Story. I love rewatching the seasons of American Horror Story, and I think if you guys were wondering, my favorite season of American Horror Story is probably Murder House, of course, and honestly, Hotel. Hotel was one of my favorite seasons. I love Lady Gaga so much. I love that she was a vampire. So, oh my god, it was just so good. I'm probably gonna rewatch it. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching this. I know this was just a little bit more chill than my normal videos, but I really want to talk about American Horror Story because obviously it is spooky season. Happy spooky season, everybody, again. And I know that around this time we're all kind of gearing up, getting ready to watch the season, and it just makes me sad that we're not going to get it, but like, of course, I understand why, for safety reasons. So I just want to put together a quick little video for you guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.